I thought that one of the most interesting questions that we had in the last session was the one which Stuart raised, which is, what is video? Because I think we as an industry tend to think we tend to have a keyhole vision of the world where we see only in clear relief the things which we do. And if you really want to know what's happening in the world today, go out and see the things that your kids are watching on their mobiles, because that will tell you the direction of the internet. So, first of all, a couple of slides about us, about Mainstream Data. Mainstream is a 31-year-old digital asset management company based in Salt Lake City in the USA. We see ourselves as a leading global provider of platforms for video licensing, workflow, and content delivery. We also do systems for the display and delivery and licensing of images, graphics, text, and so on, as well as mixed media, obviously. We are the parent company of Newscom, which is the world's largest multi-agency archive of digital media, currently with 150 million images and other content, all online and available for licensing. And we provide video digital asset management solutions, both for very large applications where there are hundreds of thousands of video assets, as well as for very small ones where there may be only a few dozen thousand and a few terabytes of content. So from the very large to the small. Some of our customers, you can see these logos. Some of you may even be on the screen there. So what do we do? Images and video websites, intelligent delivery networks, and increasingly important, custom workflow solutions. As we heard earlier from the gentleman from 23, yes, we hold digital assets, but equally or even more important than that is what we do with those digital assets to make them revenue generating. So what do we do? Video asset management and syndication. So the entertainment content of this discussion is going to be substantially higher, I hope, than what we've seen so far. If what you heard earlier was Beethoven, Sturm und Drang, what you will have, I hope, in this session is a little more Vivaldi, something a little lighter. Some vocabulary. I think we're all familiar with megabytes, gigabytes, and terabytes. Some of us may be familiar with petabytes, which is 10 to the 15th bytes. But exabytes and zettabytes. And for extra credit, who knows what comes after zettabytes? Yottabytes. Evan, we knew Evan would know that, didn't we? We all knew that. Yottabytes. Yottabytes are 10 to the 24th byte. So to give you an idea how much a zettabyte is, it's the data equivalent of 152 million years of high-definition video. And according to Cisco, this year, the internet will transmit 1 zettabyte of data. So that's a lot of data. So let's look at the history of the internet progressively. The birth of the internet was sometime around 1990. And I'll call it Internet 1.0 here. And the initial uses of the internet were FTP, email, Telnet, DNS, and then news groups. Everybody remember news groups? Who remembers news groups? Yeah, okay, well, about 2/3 of you. This group's getting old if they remember news groups. Okay, then, you're not as old as I am, but you're getting pretty old. So from 1995 to 2000, I call that Internet 2.0. There was web, rapid growth in the web. FTP was still there, although declining as a percent. And then we had this thing called peer-to-peer. Who knows what that was? Napster. Illegal acquisition.
I heard.
Now, Evan, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you don't have any Napster-generated content, do you? Not at this time. We call that the Fifth Amendment in the United States. So, Internet 3.0, the web started declining as a percent of total Internet traffic. FTP went to a very small portion. By this time, of course, Telnet and DNS had almost diminished to the vanishing point. Newsgroups were gone, effectively. And peer-to-peer continued to grow. Although, who knows the year that Napster went away?
It launched in 98.
Launched in 98, so I think it was probably gone by about here. So why is this still growing, this peer-to-peer, if Napster is no more? BitTorrent, exactly right. So now, instead of people illicitly acquiring assets which are maybe 2 to 3 megabytes in size, they're now acquiring illicitly assets which are 1 to 10 gigabytes in size. So continue to grow rapidly. And then we had this new thing which was really pretty innovative by 2005 called video on the internet. Okay, let's add 5 years to Internet 4.0. What does the chart look like? Well, the web obviously is still extremely large, although declining as a percent because the other things are growing much faster and they're much larger, right? Video files, much larger than text and images. Peer-to-peer is declining, and then we have the red blob coming, which is video content. And this, by the way, is all types of video, with the exception of peer-to-peer video. So this includes streaming, it includes Netflix, it includes file transfer, and so on. Internet 5.0 through 2015. So this is the current data. This is if you were able, in some fantasy of your imagination, able to count every bit that went through the internet over the full year. This is today roughly how it would be seen. Web is significant. Peer-to-peer is still there, although declining. And video is just blasting everybody else away. And in fact, if you take Cisco and the others who prognosticate about the future to 2020, this is what they believe usage of the internet will look like. This number is something over 90% of the internet will be for distribution of video. It doesn't mean that peer-to-peer is going away. It doesn't mean that web is going away. It just means that video as a proportion of the usage of the internet is increasing to where more than 9 out of every 10 bits that passes across the internet will be video. And that's attributable to, of course, high definition and ultra high definition video, mobile video, you know, let's not forget the word mobile today, and virtual reality, including virtual reality video. And I think one of the things that news content providers have to think about is the immersive quality of virtual reality video as a compelling product for the future. So, by way of summary.
Question.
Yes, Stefan.
The voice has disappeared.
Sorry?
The voice traffic has disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it isn't in there, but it's very small, I think. Oh, you know what it is? You couldn't see it, Stefan, but at the top, because the color is very light, it's all other. So I think voice falls within the all other. Summary. It would take a person more than 5 million years to watch the amount of video that will cross the global IP networks each month in 2020. That is 1 million minutes of video content will pass through the internet per second. 1 million minutes per second. IP video traffic will be 82% of all internet traffic by 2020, up from 70%, 4 times increase, as we already heard today from Pam. Smartphone internet traffic, and this is very important, smartphone internet traffic will exceed PC traffic by 2020 in spite of widespread adoption of HD and UHD video. Everybody catch that point? Which is, even though it's much lower resolution, the predominance of the smartphone as the terminal of today and of the future means that there will be more smartphone internet traffic by 2020 than PCs. And finally, virtual reality video traffic quadrupled last year, and by the way, that's from 4.2 petabytes. You know, that's almost a measurable number. We have a couple of petabytes of storage in our network operations center, so I can think about, you know, what 4.2 petabytes looks like. But by the end of this year, last year, 2015, it was 18 petabytes. And it's expected that that will increase 61-fold. So take 17.9 petabytes per month and multiply that by 61 and expect that in 2020. So virtual reality, VR video, is the next frontier. And I think all of us in our industry need to think very carefully about how we will innovate into that space or how we will be wiped out of the space. So what? And I think this first point, if you take nothing away from this discussion except this, it is this. The history of media is the evolution of content that ever more closely represents compelling reality. And that's exactly what Stuart Miles' point was earlier, which is media, video, the term video may not be a particularly good term because most media in the future will include video of some sort. But to the extent that in the future a media type better represents reality in all of its compelling nature, that will become a dominant technology. And we've seen this obviously in the past, right? We've gone from text to black and white images to color images to video, soon to VR video, next to I don't know what. Secondly, end users are accustomed to and are demanding content in its most compelling form, which is video today and will soon be VR video. So our success and, in fact, very survival as an industry depends upon how we deal with this video and VR video challenge. I know that that's a fairly bold statement, but I really think it's true, which is if we don't successfully, as an industry, navigate the rough waters of becoming the medium for delivery and distribution of compelling video, that someone else will take over this industry. I think I know who it might be, by the way. So, given that, what are the challenges that we face as agencies? And I speak as an agency in addition to speaking as a vendor because we own Newscom, which has these 150 million multimedia assets. Well, the first obvious thing that you have to worry about is the large storage requirements for video because it's a lot bigger than images or text. That also implies dramatically increased processing and bandwidth. The metadata issues are every bit as important and heretofore and more difficult than images heretofore because the standards have not been as good. But I think that has changed now. Content playout is important, obviously. Integrating video into a company workflow can't be overstated in terms of how difficult that is. because it is a different medium, and as Christopher from PhotoWare and I were talking about today, if you just think that you're going to take the user experience from text or from graphics or images and apply it to video, you will not end up with the optimal solution. You need to rethink the way workflows work and the way the user interface works. Great. So we're fabulously successful. We have compelling video, but now our audience, rather than a couple of hundred or a couple of thousand or 100,000, is 100 million. How do you serve an asset of a gigabyte or 10 or 100 gigabytes in size to 1 million people? Big deal, right? And then finally, and probably most importantly of all, since the revenue model for all of our industry is moving toward advertising-based revenue, either directly or indirectly, you have to be able to understand, capture, and report metric and analytics. So these are the difficulties in video. So what is the solution? Well, more, bigger, better, and faster technology, obviously. Cloud-based solutions. Why? Why cloud-based solutions? Because they're easier to scale, right? If you happen to have a big hit, last thing you want to have happen, and this has happened to us at Newscom, when One Direction, the boy band, went swimming in Sydney Harbor and had their shirts off, took Newscom's site down. Okay? Can you imagine? 13-year-old girls around the world heard about it on Twitter and hit the Newscom site. Cloud-based solutions. Need for general video metadata standards. We have great standard now. How do we gain widespread adoption of this wonderful standard that we've created? And then there are issues of standard versus proprietary video players, video embedding, API integration, and CDN content delivery networks. We integrate with Akamai, for example, for some of our customers, so that if they have a video which is being watched by 1,000 users at the same time, it doesn't tax our servers beyond their ability to respond. And of course, the inevitable question for all companies, content companies, do I pursue internal development or do I outsource? And that, of course, is a difficult, and it's a personal question, it's a corporate decision that people have to make. One thing I would say, obviously, I come from the standpoint, mainstream data is the beneficiary of outsourced development, and so you understand my attitude on that. But candidly, if an organization can't dedicate 30 full-time developers to this technology, they probably ought to start looking seriously at outsourcing a solution, my sense of it. Okay. Any questions thus far? We'll get to questions later, right? So Media Showroom is a low-cost, scalable video DAM solution that Mainstream makes available in this industry, and there are several users of it. And anyone who's interested can talk to me about it or get a card. I thought I might, do I have a minute or two left? Okay. Show you a couple of the applications that we have built, assuming that we're still working here. First of all, one of our customers is the Guardian Group in the UK. They syndicate their content worldwide, and that content includes text, images, graphics, and video. And so we built the site for them, and it's a soup to nuts solution. Some of you may be also familiar with a company called Endemol Shine, based in Holland, which is the largest syndicator of independent television programming. They are the ones who syndicate most of the major television shows that you're familiar with. We have built their video DAM, and we manage it. So what that means is that if Endemol Shine has a customer in Albania which is interested in licensing Extreme Home Makeover, for example, they would go to this website, view the content, decide if they wanted to do it or not, and then they would negotiate a deal. It includes, of course, all the sophisticated metrics and so on. Kyoto News has just recently entered the video business. They traditionally have been a text and image provider in Japan, moved to video and didn't want to have to build out a huge amount of infrastructure in order to do that. And so they asked us to build a video dam for them, which they're currently using successfully. Splashnews. Anyone know what Splashnews is? Well, you're good. Oh, okay. Chris knows. You're good not to admit, actually. Splashnews is the largest entertainment news provider in the world. So some people might use the P word, the paparazzi word, but they provide images, graphics, text news stories, and video, a lot of video. In fact, in a typical day, we will push 1.5 million video files for Splashnews to about 1,000 locations around the world. So on any given day, 10 to 20 terabytes of Splash video. So it's a very large deliverer of content. This is what their website looks like. British Movie Tone. I'm sure we all remember, those who are old enough, the videos which used to roll before the movies. These guys have asked us to create a website which has their entire archive of, I think it's about 50,000 historical videos, which we have done for them. So as you can see, there's a wide variety of these. And the product includes not just an ability to display content, but it also includes a workflow solution. So this is a screen which Barcroft Media, UK-based media company, I think they're the #1 provider of video on YouTube, the highest number of hits, where they can add keywords. I'm sure that we will be, Michael, incorporating all of the appropriate IPTC fields in here. And they can automatically then update either immediately or on a schedule to any or all of these video places around the world. So those are a few of the DAM solutions that we've provided. We're very excited about the video business. One of the questions you can ask is, well, how expensive is this? And is it something that a small company or a company that's just dipping its foot in the marketplace could afford? And the answer is it can be surprisingly cheap. And in fact, I didn't mention, but we also have mobile applications for the iPad and the iPhone that integrate into the website, so people can have both mobile access as well as on PCs. But give you an idea, we're currently offering a €500 per month solution, which includes up to a terabyte of video content, customized to meet your needs, and even no charge till the end of the year. So the answer is, it doesn't need to be difficult or expensive, and it's easy to get your toe in the water. But if we don't go this direction, guys, we're going to lose it. So thank you.